Good evening and welcome to Just Seriously Voicing Thoughts with me, Kriss Venugopal. And today we have the pleasure of having a very young mind, Harsha Shrikant. She's just 22. She's an entrepreneur, she's a model, a student doing PG in journalism and mass communication from SRM College, Chennai. And moreover, I would like to add that fashion element or the face of the next generation. She is Lulu Beauty Queen 2022, Miss Queen Kerala 2023 runner up, Shimati Young Face of the Year 2023, and Miss South India 2023. Welcome, Harsha, to Just Seriously.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's my pleasure.
The happiness starts with a fact that being a face of a whole community, let's say you're being a face of the youngsters, how do you actually feel? And this is a very oft repeated question, maybe. How do you feel being Miss, a title winner, being Miss South India 2023?
Okay, so it feels really good because I think one of the things I've always told in my introductions is that I want to represent a lot of youngsters, a lot of people with dreams, and because I think growing up, I've always looked up to people like that, people who inspire other people. So it feels nice to be one person of that sort.
Again, if I'm to ask a question to you about being inspiration, what is the whole idea of inspiration? What would you like the world to be inspired from you about?
Okay, so all right. I think a lot of people have different dreams, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and I just want people to get that push, really feel that pain while you are maybe you have a dream, but you don't really feel the pain or the need to do it. Right? A lot of
Hmm.
people have different dreams, but they don't necessarily do it. But I want them to have that push, sort of a push. I've always wanted somebody to motivate me, whatever be my dream. And I just want to be that one person who pushes other people to do what they want.
Okay. So, what do you
Hmm.
think the problems faced by the youngsters would be if you were to list the top five problems what the youngsters face these days?
So I think one of the major things I did mention that in my Q&A round for Miss South India. It is the
Hmm.
lack of value education because I
Hmm.
believe every problem takes birth from the fact that they don't have enough value education. For example,
Okay.
be it drug addiction or social media addiction or whatever it is, I think the base of it all is that they've not been given enough values from their home or the
Hmm.
society altogether. So, to list five problems, one would be lack of value education. And I believe every other problem falls under this. But definitely another problem would be that, instant gratification. You all want to uh, be it social media or any other website, you want to be gratified immediately, right? As soon as I post a picture, I want a couple of likes. I want people to comment nice things about me. So that instant gratification is actually making us a little insane right now. That is another
Hmm.
problem. Um, Third problem, I think, would be similar things like the drug addiction or whatever addiction. I think everything has a limit. Right? Uh, so if something starts to become an addiction, it becomes a problem then. So all sorts of addiction would be another problem. And yeah, these are the couple of problems that we deal with right now.
Right, right. Now, when you are to talk about the addiction, the youngsters, what causes the addiction? That we have all dealt with many psychology studies, and there are many researchers doing research on that subject.
Right.
But when it comes to a person, do you think that the time is a factor? Like too much of time at disposal, or is it like they don't have enough time to wait for that gratification? What would be on both sides, if you look at it? One can be the lack of time, or one can be too much of time. So, as a youngster, what would you suggest?
Absolutely. So I think time is a very important factor. It's about managing your time because I think both are a problem, right? Like you said, lack of time and too much time is also a problem. So if you know
Right.
how to properly manage your time, because I think all of us have lots of things to get done with every day. It could be your studies, your job, or keeping in touch with your family. We have a lot of things to be done on a regular basis. So if you give priority to different things, and if you try and manage your time, you will have enough time for everything, and you won't have more time for anything. So
Right.
that would be a good thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I move on to the next question, I'd like to thank Soumya, Semi, Bonarina Kabir, Kanimuri Muhammad, Govind Gopal, Shrikant, Fanaki Andrea, Ajita Singh, Srijesh Shivalsam, Rashid, Thomas Mani, Asif Iqbal, Indu Sianal, Vipin Pratap, and Tansir. Thank you very much for joining us on Just Seriously. Harsha, you have been born to a great parent, I would say, because Shrikant, he's also listening to us right now.
Yes.
Very good friend of mine. I know him as a magician. I know him as a manager in a bank, and I know him as an entrepreneur. So
Right.
we would like to know when you talked about value education from the family. We'd like to know about your bond with your father and mother.
Okay, so that's a lovely question. I think I talk about it a lot whenever someone, asks me some question. Because when I think one of the reasons why I pointed out lack of value education is one of the biggest problems is because I know how important value education is, and I think I've been blessed enough to get it from my family, be it my dad, my mom, my grandparents, always ensured that I've been given the right values. I think I don't know how to like name it because they've given me so many values from the very most simplest of things, letting me choose whatever I want to do in my life, or giving me the option and freedom and space to talk in family. Because usually when family get-togethers happen, you never get the space to talk, right? You're a young girl, so you don't get to voice anything. But I think they've given me the space to talk and give opinions about things, and they've taught me what's right and wrong, and they taught me it's okay to fail. I think that's one of the biggest things you should teach your child. uh, in a world where everybody is constantly fighting to succeed, it's important to know that it's okay to fail. So I have been given that lesson, and a lot of things like that. So I think one of the biggest lessons I've gotten is the kind of home team I have. It's the bonding I have with my parents. It's the kind of bonding I have in my family.
Right. Now, when you
Yeah.
talk about bonding with parents, these days when youngsters are, is it a kind of a cliche thought that youngsters always rebel against parents, or do you really find it in your peer group? Do they find that parents are imposing? There are a lot of things which we hear about in talks when youngsters talk about. So we'd like to hear your view
Right.
because you're an inspiration as well as a role model to many of the youngsters who are with you.
Mhm. Uh, yeah, there is a saying that a lot of kids today rebel, but I think it's from my POV, I think it's important to give the right parenting. So one of the basic places where they get uh, education and the building of common sense, everything happens from your home, right?
Right.
It first begins from your home, and then you go to school, and then you go to other associations, but it begins from your home. So if you can give right parenting, uh, then I think it should be fine. I don't think any child would rebel against a parent that is nice enough. So
Right.
I think majority of this happens because people don't have any idea of how to parent. So maybe we should do many classes for good parenting. Where a couple of parents get together, and then they give tips and tricks
Hey,
to,
okay.
yeah.
What are the main 5 points you would talk about when we talk about Seema and Srikant, your parents? What are the five main parenting ideas which you got from them, which you think is the most practical and the most viable one, which we can give as a lesson to the whole world?
Okay, so I think one of the major things is that uh, encouraging good communication in family. Uh, See, if you make sure your child knows that the child has entire freedom to come and communicate whatever it is that's in their head with you, then I think they feel so much at ease. So whatever mistakes they do, whatever they do, if they have the freedom to come and tell you that they've done it, then that itself is a very good start. So good parenting means good communication in your family, and
Right.
I think and that I've gotten that in my family. That's it. Uh, Secondly, I think it's about, like I said, letting your child fail. Because you cannot always expect somebody to succeed but they can succeed. Sometimes failing is also, part of succeeding. So I think it's okay to tell your child, you can fail, it's fine. You learn from your mistakes, it's fine. But make sure they don't repeat the same mistakes, right?
Right.
But yeah, letting your child sort of a relation you have with your child. Because I today in a very busy schedule, everybody has two jobs at least. Both mom and dad might have a job. They have a lot of family functions to attend. They have a lot of communities to be a part of. So you tend to forget about your child, right? So make sure you give enough time for your child. Prioritize that relationship over anything else.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's another important thing we have to do as a parent.
Great.
And
Uh,
I've gotten that from my family as well. I've gotten enough time from both my parents. Like you said, my dad, he used to work with a bank. But then, even among his busy schedule, he made time for me. So that's a great thing. That really helps a child.
right. Right.
Uh, yeah. And another thing would be to not over advise. I think this is something I've personally seen other people do, because advice is something that you can absolutely give for free, right? So,
Right.
and especially being a parent, you feel you have the complete right and freedom to advise your child for everything. So, this, maybe if you stop advising so much and start listening to your child, uh, that would be great. Because
Right.
one of the major things that parents fail to admit is that even they can make mistakes, right? So, a parent is not always right. So if they can stop advising so much and start listening to their child, maybe they will learn something from their child, and the child might feel like they have the freedom to, communicate things with their parents.
Right.
And this thing would be to teach the act of gratitude, because one thing we fail to do on a regular basis is to thank for everything we have. Right? We wake up and we start complaining about things we don't have. So if you can teach your child the act of gratitude, then that can go a long way. Uh, it could be very simple act, as in like, you wake up in the morning and then you just say three things that you're thankful for. You don't even have to write them. You just have to just say, I'm thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful that I have a family. I'm thankful for the food that I get to eat every day. It could be anything. But if you can teach your child
Right.
the act of gratitude, that will be also great. So these are a couple of things I think would work.
Excellent, excellent. In the meanwhile, I'd like to thank Shweta for joining us, Beatrice, Ajita, again, Aim Rashid, Tankam, and Devi Krishna. Thank you very much for joining Just Seriously. Harsha, your dad, Shrikant, I know him as a magician as well as a manager. So, the side of magician, I always had that awe, or I enjoyed the way he performed, and rather, when we met before you were born, we
Right,
looked more like each other. Like we were like we looked very similar to each
right,
other. But
right.
now, yeah, time is probably I went a little fast and I became old too fast, and your dad was still young.
You grew a
how
beard.
did how did magic influence your life?
That's a great question. Magic influenced me in many ways. I think uh, one of the major things is that I learned the act of showmanship, because in magic it's all about the way you perform, right? It could be a very small, simple magic, but the way you perform makes it different. The way you're on stage, the aura that you carry, the confidence you have, everything comes from the showmanship, right? So
Right.
one of the major things that magic taught me is the showmanship itself, and in confidence, because I think that it's kind of easy to perform a dance or to sing something on stage. Everybody's rooting for you, right? But when you perform a magic, or when you perform an act in magic, everybody wants you to fail, because they want to know what's happening behind. They want to know the trick behind it. So it's not easy to perform in front of the audience who are rooting for you to fail. So you have immense confidence, and that's one thing I learned from magic other than showmanship. So, and that really helped me in modeling as well, to be on stage with so much confidence. Maybe you might not, maybe you're completely blank, mentally you're completely blank, but you can just put up a confident face and walk. If you can walk the ramp, then great. I think magic taught me that.
Right. If you're given an option, rather than being in the beauty pageant, being a lady magician in India, because we don't hear many names coming up as lady magicians. Maybe
Right.
Lady Srinivas, or maybe very few magicians came up as maybe Melly and Pearl, and very few names are there in the world of magic. So,
Right.
would you pick up an option being a magician, a lady magician? Or do you still feel that fashion is your statement?
I think I'm someone who would pick both because I want to juggle a lot of things. I like to juggle a lot of things. Because I and in fact, I was even talking to my parents about, trying my hand in magic because I think we can mix a show where it's given both importance. So
Right.
I was talking about it to my dad and mom last week. And yeah, like you
Hmm.
said, I really like of the way Pearl, Zika, everyone performs on stage. And I've always thought to myself, I want to be on stage like that. I want to perform like Juliana Chen or Lunga Shimada, and capture
Hmm.
the audience. Uh, because when ladies perform, there's an extra added on grace, right? They have the little more graceful on stage. So I
Hmm.
think if I was given an option, I would pick both. I would I would put it in a way that both have equal importance, both fashion
I
and
would
magic.
I would rather book my first tickets for your show as a lady magician too. But that would
Wow.
be very interesting.
Lovely, lovely.
Coming to a question which I had since the time we met last, it is a question which kept ringing in my mind. The seeing you as a child.
Okay,
After that, I see you after 22 years as a
right,
say a flourished student model, and ICU after 22 years. Now, in between,
right.
the only link what we had was that one gift. We'd like to hear your side of the story. Probably, I'm told that that was the first gift that you got as a child, and you still have it. So we'd
Right.
like to hear your side of the story from there.
Okay, so 22 years ago, the first gift right after born, a day or two, I was only a day old. So I received a tiger, a plush tiger, and that was from you, Chris. So I I still have. I have in fact, it's intact and it's in a very good condition right now. It's still the same. Okay, so I remember my parents telling me that I would never let anybody. I would give them all the toys. I would not let them play with it because um, I don't know. It's something. It's a connection. I be- probably because it's the first gift I received, and probably because I like anything under the big cat family. Uh, but I think I've cherished that a lot, and I still do have it. And last time we met, I made sure that I showed you the gift because I want you to see it. I don't even think you remember, what gift you gave me, but I was like, I want to show him. The moment that I want to show him that, and I hope that made you happy.
That really made me happy because I met you before that once, and you introduced me as the child I saw as a 2 day old or a 3 day old child.
Right,
So I was so
right, right.
surprised. That evening time when you had come for a function, I meet you and you say that, yeah,
At
22
random,
years
yeah.
ago, you. Yeah. So that happiness was doubled or tripled, I would say, when I got a chance to give you the same gift again and click a picture. And thanks to Shrikant for that. And it was really a happy moment. And that made me feel that the bonds between people, we never know how it works out and how
Absolutely.
it goes a long way. And really, the bond stays in your heart. And that is the lesson I got from that particular moment. And how would you say about your friends, how supportive or how they helped you in growing, probably as a sociology student, or probably now as a person who is pursuing mass communication and journalism, and your liking towards journalism? With those questions, I would actually ask the audience that you can raise your hand, you can interact with Harsha, and that will happen a few minutes from now. And it's over to you right now.
All right. So, my friends have always been very supportive of whatever I do. I'm very blessed to have those kind of friends. It's not easy to where everybody supported. So I all now and about different things. Out of all the nervousness, like modeling is not something I always wanted to do. I always dreamt of doing modeling. So I had doubts and very all that about this. So I would, although I would ask about all these doubts and queries to other people, I would also want to about. So I've had to think about this as an answer. I would just talking about all the things I'm concerned about, especially before competition. And so, in all of my friends, no clue what I was talking about. They were very supportive. They were like, "You can got this, you can do it." And I think one of the times I actually realized how supportive my friends were was when Miss South India was happening, and I
Mhm.
had around 20 friends from my side, uh, and every one of them cried after the competition. And I mean, I know obviously like my family, my close family would cry because they know the amount of pressure I've had during the competition. But
Right,
imagine 20 of your friends crying for you. It felt really nice, because you've chosen the right people. So
right.
yeah, that was one.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I had a small glitch. In the meanwhile, I'd like to thank Hari Avinash, Anupuri, and Nishad, Vijay Lakshmi, Shaheen, Parameshwaran, Rakesh, and Roshni for joining us on Just Seriously. Harsha, when you talk about the emotional moment and friends being with you, family being with you, I really, before opening up the questions to the audience, I would like to say that there is a very strange coincidence that, yeah, there was a time when at your age I was into modeling.
Uh-huh.
I came into magic and I met Shrikant. And I see a person who is actually going into journalism. I was into active media, media, mass communication, and journalism. You are studying it, and I was working for many years. I see kind of a parallel running, and it's
Right.
really amazing. And only thing is that I won a title of Mr. Hotpots. That was a very normal modeling competition, and you've reached the pinnacle. And it really makes me happy saying that, yes, Harsha
Yeah.
Srikanth, who is a person, a face to reckon with Miss South India 2023, is a person whom I know from day two. So I would like to open
Uh,
the floor to the public so that they can interact with you. And those who want to interact, ask questions, they can raise their virtual hand. And yes, I will bring you up and you can interact. Yes, we have Soumya Santosh from Pollachi. She is the academic head for PKE Metric School. So, Soumya, over to you.
nice.
Hi, Harsha.
Hi, Soumya.
So it was lovely to hear both of you talking, actually.
You.
Uh, what I want to know is being into modeling, what sort of health regime or fitness regime, beauty tips, what do you follow?
Okay, so that is an interesting question. All right, so I'm very much into skincare. I obsessed with skincare. I have a routine of skincare which I follow on a regular. So I think one of the major things I would advise about skincare is always get consulted with someone and then have a beauty tip for yourself. It's different skin, so you have to do your customized skincare routine. But make sure you have one. Drink lots and lots of water, which I'm still trying to practice. I shouldn't lie about it because I'm really bad at that. I'm forgetting that I have to drink water. But I this is something I practice. And in terms of health, I think Working out is very important, which again I kind of miss working out here and there because of shoots and everything. But I try to work out, and also having health supplements is very important. Uh, uh, all the nutrients and vitamins from food alone. So very important to take your supplements for your health, and that will keep yourself healthy and your skin healthy as well with proper skincare. Yeah, that's all I do.
Yeah, Harsha, I think, are you having internet connectivity issue? Because a few times I think your voice is breaking.
Is
Uh,
it?
all right.
Am I audible now?
You are audible, but in between there are
It's good.
little breaks, which I think it's a glitch you're facing. But anyway, uh, so to sum up what you said, supplements, water, and regular workout and skincare. That's the important thing, the takeaway for Samya Santosh, I really feel. Thank you very much, Samya, for being on Just Seriously. So, anyone who want to interact with Miss South India 2023, Harsha Shrikant, yes, you can raise your virtual hand and I'll bring you up, and the floor is open to you. In the meanwhile, let me ask another question to you. Mass communication and journalism, what attracted you from sociology to mass communication and journalism?
Yeah, so I think the reason I chose sociology itself was to get a base so that I can go for mass communication later. Because I really like to write. I like to write about things. I like to write articles and all that. So I got in touch with a cousin sister of mine who's already doing mass communication journalism, and she's also into writing. She's an inside magazine writer. So I consulted with her. She told me, since I was doing commerce for my 12th, it would be better if you take a humanities subject, for your degree and then go for mass communication. You get a better idea about society. And sociology being something that I've always been attracted to, like I like to learn about society, like to interact with people and do surveys and do all that. So I went for sociology as my first option. That's how I went for sociology and then later to mass communication.
Wonderful. Now, I really, when I look at the guest list today, I see a lot of friends, a lot of familiar faces, starting from Soumya, Shrikant, yes, my dear old friend Srijesh, my friend, a lot of friends, Devi. I would like to thank those who have joined right now. I'm honored to have Thomas Mani sir in the crowd. He was my principal at school and a very dear mentor, I would say, because the way he has inspired a lot of youngsters, that's a remarkable thing which I see in him. And yes, those who want to interact with Harsha, yes, you can raise your virtual hand and I'll bring on to the floor. Yes, Shaheen, my dear friend, is there. Then I have Amin, who is also a student and entrepreneur. Devi, who has been on the stage, and we have Kabir, who has raised his hand. Yes, Kabir. Kabir is a mentor, my dear friend, who is really special for many people like me. And Kabir, the floor is all yours.
Before I speak, I think Harsha, you can. I think it's your application cache will be very high. So if you can just close the application, come back once, it'll become okay. There's a glitch in the connection right now.
Right, right. So I'll just leave and join
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I'll just
No
wait.
problem.
So
Right, all right.
So it's a real pleasure having Harsha Shrikant, a 22-year-old entrepreneur model student who's doing PG in journalism and mass communication from SRM College, Chennai. And previously, she has completed her degree in sociology. She's the Lulu Beauty Queen 2022, Miss Queen Kerala 2023 runner-up, Srimati Young Face of the Year 2023, and Miss South India 2023. An honor and pleasure to have someone who's very close to my heart, Shrikant's daughter, my dear friend's daughter. Yes, Harsha, welcome back.
Yes, am I audible?
Very much.
Okay.
Yes, Kabir, your question.
like, I just wanted to ask one thing, like about voice. Since the program was about voice, have you taken any voice training for? Like, I've heard there is question and answers in the uh, beauty contest. So how do you prepare?
Right. So about that, I think so we actually get a lot of grooming before every pageant. We do get it for a walk, to build our confidence, like you said about voice modulation, or how to address a crowd, because that's very important. I think almost everyone here knows the importance of you know modulating your voice, and then speaking in a very pleasing way. So we get enough sessions about that. Because it's not so it's I think it's not about what you convey, it's more about how you convey it, in order for it to stay in the minds of people. So we get trainings like that for groomings. We have mentors to groom us about that. So yeah, I've received a couple of trainings before pageants.
All right. I think, Kabir, that answers your question. And I'd like to welcome Sandeep Moses, who has joined us. And if I've missed out any names, I welcome you. Yeah, Shashidhar, I've missed your name. Really happy to have you all here at Just Seriously Voicing Thoughts with me, Kriss Gopal. Now, Harsha, when it is to pageantry, the kind of stress. So, what actually, other than getting trained on grooming and going on stage, speaking, modulating, do you get trained in how to handle the amount of stress you go through? Because that always boggles the mind, because you see the kind of excitement or the kind of sadness which happens on pageantry. Do you have any kind of stress management training which happens on any pageants which is you have participated in?
Yeah, so absolutely. Everybody who's performing there on stage, I think everyone has a strategy to handle stress. And I do have one myself. I I do meditate while I'm on my, grooming day, because that's when you feel a lot of stress, because you actually see your competitors and how well they perform. You're really good friends with them, so you don't want anything bad for them. You're always very supportive of them, but you also want good things to happen to yourself. So you're in a very confused position when you're on your grooming days. So I do meditate a little bit, and I've learned the art of manifesting things. So if you've read the book Secret, you probably know it's the law of
Yes,
attraction and
law
everything.
and order. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. So I've learned to attract and manifest things I want, which is exactly what I did back during the South India days. I used to sit every day, and I think during this meditation process is when you get enough time to manifest things you want. So uh, it doesn't really have to be about pageantry. It has helped me a lot in my life as well. Whatever I want, I start to think I already have it, and and I'm automatically happy about it. So that in that way, I attract a lot of things I want, or at least I get the energy to get what I want. So manifesting has really helped me handle stress.
Right. Now we have Fanaki Andrea. She's a habit coach and a specialist trainer. So, Fanaki, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris, and so glad to meet you, Harsha. There's a lot of things I learned, and I really believe that we don't meet people by chance. That's one thing. And so, my question is you inspire people. And so, if there is one quote, for example, or any message you want to share to the world, what it is?
All right, so that's a lovely question. I do get inspired by a lot of people, and I get even more inspired by words. I think a lot of quotes have inspired me, but one of the quotes that have inspired me a lot uh, is about the universe. It says, you are the universe uh, and beyond. So there is a quote that goes, "You are universe and beyond." So that helped me understand, how much is going on within myself. So I know we're all in awe of the universe, everything that happens around us, but you should also realize that there's another universe inside of you, which means you have a lot of potential. You are more than what you think, and so everything that you want to achieve is so little compared to your potential. So that has helped me a lot, and that has inspired me a lot. And so every time I get something, I get a challenge, or every time I set my mind to something, and I think if it's too big for me, that's when I go back to the store, and it says you are the universe and beyond, which means there's nothing I really can't do. So yeah, that's one of the quotes that inspired me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fanaki.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I would like to invite Beatrice James from the US. Beatrice, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Chris, and thank you all for the opportunity to speak. I just wanted to say it's very nice to meet you, Hasha. And my
Thank you.
question is around challenges, or maybe some of the challenges you faced and what you did to. You mentioned meditation, and so what are some of the things you do to keep at bay the negative or limiting thoughts?
Right. So thank you so much for that question. I come across a lot of challenges just like anybody else. Uh, so and like I said, one of the ways I keep it at bay is by meditating. But how do I handle all the negative, uh, negatives thrown at me? I think another thing I do is that I do a lot of self talk. I do affirmations because at times you start to feel a little low. How much ever you say that you believe in yourself, it gets to a point where other people's opinions start to affect you. I think that's when I go for affirmations and I do self talks. It will be great if you all have a self talk prepared for yourself, like which you can read out to yourself or you can just say it in front of the mirror. That really helps you a lot when in terms of motivating you. So that's one thing I do, and then I always make sure I surround myself with a good bunch of people. Uh, Positive people, people who like to dream, people who are always thinking about the future, people who don't compare themselves, people who always collaborate with each other. So I ensure that I stay in touch with people who help my growth. So associations are very, very, very important. Just as much as words, associations are also very important. So if you have good bunch of people to surround yourself with, that will be great.
Right. That's a great answer,
Yes, it
Beatrice.
is. Yes, it
Thank you.
is. And
Thank
I
you.
admire the long-term relationships. And so, and also mentors are good too, and just positive people. So it's really nice
Yes.
meeting you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Beatrice. And
Doctor
yes,
Doctor Chris, I think there's a background sound from your side.
now,
Yeah, once you're unmuting, I think there's a background sound.
okay. So yeah, I'll mute myself again. I would like to give the opportunity to those who have joined recently. Thank you very much for joining, Joyce, Varsha, Vanuja, Amrita Kandan. Thank you very much for joining us. And Harsha, would you like to invite Srikant himself, the dear friend of mine and your dad, onto the stage?
Yeah, that will be great.
So I request Srikant to raise your virtual hand so that I can bring you up stage and we can interact with you and share that happy, proud moment of the time when your daughter actually became Miss South India. So we'd like to have you uh, raise your virtual hand so that we can bring you on up stage. And thank you very much, Rishabh Saxena, for joining us on Just Seriously. Uh, and yes, we have Srikant. It's such a pleasure to have you on board. Can you hear me, Srikant?
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Good
Eh,
evening. Am I audible?
I think there is a technical glitch. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You cannot hear me, right?
I can, I can. We would like to know about that moment when your daughter became Miss South India 2023.
It was totally unexpected and it was a surprise for us, both of us, Seema and me.
I
I'm
think he's
sure.
facing some network issues.
Yes, yes, I think so.
Either it's that I'm consuming a lot of network because we're on the same house. So
Right.
No, Srikant can also just close the app, come back. I think it'll get resolved.
right, right.
So I request Shrikant to just close the app and come back again. And thank you, Abhismi, for joining us. Thank you, Bhagyalakshmi. Yeah, that's my mother who's listening to me. And it's a real pleasure for having her on Just Seriously every week, listening to all the great minds around the world. And yes, we have Shrikant back again. Yes, Shrikant.
Okay, can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can. I say.
Yeah. Thing is that that moment was totally unexpected. Still, I'm not means digesting it.
It is very difficult for a parent to accept the
Yeah.
great steps, but that gives a kind of a lot of happiness. What would you like to tell your
Yeah.
dad right now, Harsha?
I okay, so uh, we are very close. I'm an only child, so it's my mom, my dad, and myself. So we always talk about a lot of things and we communicate on a regular basis. But I think I would just want to say that I love you both so much uh, for having so much faith in me and for not putting a lot of your expectations on me, just letting me be myself. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Ashwati, for joining us on Just Seriously. Moving on, I would again say that, like amongst the audience, if you want to talk to Harsha, yes, you just need to raise your virtual hand so that we can bring you on board and you can interact with Harsha. And in the meanwhile, Harsha, as a youngster, as an entrepreneur, the entrepreneurial part of it, that and mass communication journalism is entirely different. So we'd like to know about the entrepreneurial side of yours because you're a part of a global startup too.
I am. Okay, so growing up, I've always told everyone that I want to be a businesswoman. I don't think I really knew what being a businesswoman meant, but I knew it was really cool to, own a business and be your own boss. So I really like the idea of being my boss. And that's why always, whenever I think back in fifth grade, I was asked a question, what I wanted to become when I grew up. It's a cliche question. Everybody gets asked that. And while everybody in my class said things like engineer, doctor, or this advocates, I remember saying businesswoman, and I remember the entire class looking at me with so much of disgust because that's the first time they actually heard someone say businesswoman, and they didn't know what that meant. And I felt bad because I was like, did I say something wrong? But I still stick to it. I love being a businesswoman, and the reason I wanted to do, a business was because, like I said, the freedom that you get, so being an entrepreneur gives you not just the freedom, but also a chance, where you can give opportunities to a lot of other people. So I get to give employment opportunities to a lot of other people, and that's really lovely when I think of it. But yeah, like you said, it's two different things. Mass communication journalism and entrepreneurship, it's entirely different. But that's why I always say, I want to juggle a lot of things, be it magic or modeling or journalism, mass communication, business. I want to juggle a lot of things, and I want my introduction to be like about 2 3 minutes long. I want to say about a lot of things I do, so that's why I just decided to just juggle everything together.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And when it comes to the introduction part, my students whom I train, I usually tell them at least prepare a 2 minute introduction for yourself. You should have, when you've lived about 23, 24 years, you should have at least about 2 or 3 minutes of introduction. And people find it very difficult. But at the same time, I'm hearing a person who's saying that, yes, I want my introduction to be at least 2 or 3 minutes long. It's really heartwarming. And thank you very much, Keshavan and Shaji, for joining us on Just Seriously. Harsha, when you have said you are already inspiring people by saying that at 22, you believe in meditation, you believe in affirmation, you want to be an entrepreneur, you're already a model, you're an entrepreneur, you're already moving into mass communication and journalism, many levels of inspiration. Now, what would be your dream now? Because you've been asked a cliche question when you were in your fifth, what you want to become. Now, when you look at it, the perspective, it has actually changed a lot. Now,
Definitely.
what would be your dream, what you want to be?
So I have an endless list of dreams. Let's keep the materialistic dreams aside. Let's put a pin on that and keep it aside. I want to talk about the intangibles. When I talk about it, I think I want to start. Uh, with, quality time with people I like the most. So I want to be in a state where I have enough and more time with me, that I can spend on people I like, and people who support my growth. So that's something that you don't get with money either, because we see a lot of people with tons of money but zero amount of time. I want to become someone who is enough money for everything I want, but also enough and more time for the people I like. That's one of the important things I want in my life. But in terms of a career, I want to, do more pageants and inspire a lot of people. I want to work for a lot of designers, small and big, for a lot of shows, both national and international shows, because I love being on stage and I love doing ramp walks and I love being on my heels. So that's something I want to do. I love getting ready, by the way. So I do that a lot. I get ready randomly at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm bored. Uh, so it just gives me so much joy. It's like a therapy, getting ready, doing makeup, just being in front of the mirror. So for someone like that, I think it's a fair enough dream to walk for a lot of shows. That's another dream I have. And yeah, and like I said, I always love to inspire people, especially youngsters and women. Uh, yeah, that's another thing I want to do.
These days, when you talk about, you specifically said women. These days, when we talk about gender equality and having no gender bias, do you think the tag we say that, yeah, we need more empowerment? Do you really feel?
Okay, so I believe in equity more than equality. I was just talking about it today with my mom. I believe I don't believe in giving everyone the same opportunity, but I believe in giving everyone the opportunity that according to their situations, they should be given opportunities. So that would really help a lot of people get to where they want, because everyone's different. Everyone wants different things. So more than equality, I believe in equity, and I think, like you said, there's a lot of we have to go a long way in terms of reaching the so-called equality or whatever it is. But everything starts with your mindset, right? So if you have the right mindset, or if you try and cultivate the right mindset and the right values, just by starting to respect each other, regardless of your gender, where you come from, what you want in life, if you start to respect each other, half of our problems are solved. So that I think that would really help a lot to bring equality.
That's beautiful. Again, this doesn't sound like a 22-year-old youngster of a common understanding of parents or maybe the whole society as such. What are your likes as a youngster? Like, there are many things which can make you happy. So, other than makeup, what are your hobbies and likes? And are you a youngster like any other youngster, or are you different? Do you feel so?
I am definitely a youngster, like every other youngster, but then again, youngsters are really, really different from each other, right? They're very vibrant and very different. In that way, I am a youngster. Like I said, I do love makeup, skincare, and everything. But apart from that, I really love cooking. I love baking, especially, and one of the most important things is that I love to interact with people. I love to make friends. So I love to make connections. I love to make friends with a lot of people, because I feel, like you said, the bond, the connection, just that lasts forever. If you are giving a right impression, if you are leaving an impact, then that would stay forever. So I love to make connections with a lot of people. That gives me so much joy. I like to go into associations and meet new people and talk to them and hear about their side of the story, about their dreams and all. That just gets me really excited. Another thing I think I like is listening to music. I love to listen to music. I love to listen to a lot of music. And I don't want to pick a genre, because I would just listen to anything. If it makes me happy and if it's just fixing my mood, then I would listen to any genre. I don't mind the genre. Yeah, that's something I do to make
Listening
me.
to that, I know that Kabir already has a question in his mind. Do you sing? And can you sing a few lines for us? Isn't
I think
am I
Kabir.
not right, Kabir?
Yes,
Okay,
I
so I
was
want
doing.
to. I remember Kabir asking me before the podcast, before the talk show. He was like, "Do you sing?" And then I was like, So at one point I thought, he mistook me for a singer. So I was like, no, no, I don't sing. And then he was like, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, cool, okay. So you're not going to sing on the show? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to sing on the show. So he made sure I wouldn't sing on the show beforehand itself.
I would rephrase that part because Kabir wants everyone to sing when they come to an audio room. It is not that he did not want you to sing at all. He wanted you to sing, and that's why he asked you to sing. Knowing Kabir, he would be very happy if you could sing two lines of favorite song.
Wow. Okay, so I am not a singer, uh, but okay, so now see, that's the hardest part, because if I were a singer, I would have a couple of songs that I would sing all the time. But since I'm not a singer, now I'm going through all the songs that I've listened to.
Now, how about something close to your heart for Seema and Shrikant? A song which would make you associate with them, probably. Because
Okay, it's easy for me to run down and ask them what song they want me to sing. Do you want to suggest some songs? Let me see if I know the song.
if I suggest them, it's like a whole sea of songs which I have really fallen in love with. But I would like you to choose it because my list would be like endless.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I would also ask the audience, like, if you would like to interact with vibrant, most heartwarming youngster I've seen for a very long time, and my dear friend's daughter, and a person who is very close to my heart on Just Seriously is Harsha Shrikant. And in the meanwhile, for those who have joined new, I would like to tell them that in the field of modeling, she's Lulu Beauty Queen 2022, Miss Queen Kerala 2023 runner-up, Shimati Young Face of the Year 2023, and Miss South India 2023. Apart from her degree in sociology, and she's currently doing her postgrad in journalism and mass communication. She's an entrepreneur, model, and student. That's Harsha Shrikant for you, and I hope you have come up with the song which you're going to sing for all of us, or probably dedicated to Shrikant.
I really hope so too. I really hope I came with a song, but I really hope you understand how complex my mind is right now. And I'm still thinking of a song, but I would definitely sing one before leaving. Don't worry.
Right, right. So, audience, if you want to interact, you just need to raise your virtual hand and I'll bring you on board. And amongst those who are on board already, after listening to Harsha, I'm sure you would have hundreds of questions which is popping up in your mind. And now we have Varsha Joyce. Yes, Varsha, the stage is all yours. She's a voice coach and a voice artist. You can interact with Harsha. Varsha, can you hear me? Yeah, I think Russia is facing a glitch. We have VH who has joined us. VH, you can actually talk to Harsha right away.
Thank you, Dr. Chris. Thank you, Arsha. Your story is really inspiring, and I'm intrigued by the fact that you are a Miss in 2023. I just have one question for you. Like, how do you define beauty?
Right. Lovely. I think that's one of the questions I got for Miss South India as well. And I stand by my answer, which is somewhere along the lines of so I believe beauty is being able to see the invisible crown on you, because beauty is different for different people. If you're confident in yourself, if you carry yourself with so much pride and joy, then that's beautiful. If you see the invisible crown on you, it could be anything. It could be the fact that you're a really good speaker. It could be the fact that you're awesome at your job. It could be the fact that you're a good parent. But whatever be that invisible crown is, if you can see that on you, then you're beautiful.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, Varsha, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. And Harsha, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Actually, we are friends. Vasha and I are very good friends. We
Yeah.
connected from a work. So yeah. How are you?
So I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
Actually, I'm not here for any questions.
Oh, all right.
I just want to congratulate, and I was so proud, and I was telling my parents and friends about you, that I know her, I have spoken to her, and they were like, "Oh, is it?" And I was so proud.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so sweet.
Yeah. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I
Keep
want all your
rocking.
blessings.
Thank you very much, Varsha. And we have Srijesh. Yes, Srijesh, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hi, Harsha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and I'm so proud that I got a chance to act with you.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
and I have a question
Also, we are friends as
that,
well.
A very small world.
I know, right? I know.
yeah, Harsha, I have a question.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, whether you like acting or modeling the most.
Okay, that's a very tricky question, but I have an answer. I would say I like modeling more. Not because acting is bad, it's because I feel I can do modeling better, and I feel so much of ease when I'm doing modeling more than acting. Especially when I'm acting with people like you who are really good at that. I get little nervous, but yeah, I do want to try my hands on acting more and more now, but I would choose modeling more than acting, I think. I think so, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Srijesh. And we have Amrita Kannan who has joined us now. Yes, the floor is all yours.
Yes. So, hi, Harsha. It's beautiful to listen to you. Such a strong woman at the age of 22 and very philosophical answers. The depth of the answers are so beautiful. So, really nice on that. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
So, my question is that, like I handle a lot of people, I train a lot of people. So, my one question is that how do you break your own boundaries? And what is your tip for that? And any motivational book you will suggest to people?
Lovely, lovely. So I push myself, whenever I'm down or whenever I feel that I want to do more. By like I said, I surround myself with very good people. So it's really helpful when you have the right people around you. So I push my boundaries like that. And when I feel so, every time I set a new goal, I make sure that it's something I've not done so far.
Okay.
And it's something that I would challenge myself with because I've had experiences in the past where I've set goals like that and I've achieved it. And then you get the sense of happiness, more than achieving something that you've already known you could do.
Right.
When you do something that you've pushed yourself for, you really feel that ecstasy. And once you've gotten that done, I think it becomes sort of like an addiction where you want to do more and more of such things. So one way I push myself to do better things is by recollecting things in the past where I felt that happiness, and also like by surrounding myself with good people who always motivate me to do better things. And one of the books I would suggest is, like I mentioned before, Secret is one really good book by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay.
It really helps, I think if you've read it, you would know. It really helps you channelize your mind into right things to attract all the things you want. Because I am someone who believes, you know, I don't want to chase things that I want. I want them to chase me. So I really want to channelize my mind into good things and effective things. So Secret really helped me a lot. And Who Moved My Cheese is also a really good book. So
Okay.
yeah, those are some books I would suggest.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
very much, Amrita. And I'm very much happy to hear about Who Moved My Cheese, Dr. Johnson Spencer, about him, hem, haw, sniff, and scurry, the four characters which will change your life for sure. And we have Rishabh Saxena who's joined us now. Rishabh, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Krish, and thank you everyone for joining. So my question for Arsha will be, who is the role model you have followed in the starting of your career, and what is the best advice you should give to the current generation who wants to follow their dreams and go a long way?
Lovely. That's a lovely question. So I have a lot of role models. Starting from my parents, I have a lot of role models because I try and see positives from every people I come across because I believe everybody has something that you can adapt. So I try and see good things from every people. But if I have to pick someone, then I would say Sumit Bahadur is a mentor of mine. And he also mentors my dad and mom as well in both business and life. So he really helped me a lot in understanding things better. And I would suggest everyone to have a mentor as well in your life, to just to guide you to the right path. And the one advice I would like to give, I don't know if I'm good enough to give an advice to young people, but one thing I would say is that however bizarre dream you have, it could be something very silly because sometimes dreams doesn't have to make sense to you, right? But if you're sure it would give you happiness, or if you're sure it would give you that sense of achievement, then whatever people would say, you don't really have to bother about it. I know it's a very cliche thing to say, just to keep following your dreams, but since I've done that, and since I've gotten the sense of achievement out of it, I know how happy it's going to make you. So whatever dream you have, whatever be it, maybe you yourself would demotivate you at times, but it's fine. Just write it down somewhere, stick pictures of it everywhere, and keep following it. You would find a lot of things on the way as well. On the way of achieving your dream, you would find a lot of things, and you would end up achieving your dream. So it would give you so much of happiness. So I think, yeah, dream and dream so much. That's one thing I want to say.
Thank you so much, Harsha. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Krish.
Thank you very much, Rishabh. And as I thank Saumya Kabir, Funaki, Diatras, VH, Varsha, Srijesh, Amrita, and Rishabh for asking questions, I think you're ready with your song right now.
I'm sorry, what?
The song which you had promised.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you would forget, but all right. So okay, so I would sing a song that's on top of my head right now. This is not exactly my most favorite song, but yeah. Hmm. जरा जरा बहकता है महकता है आज तो मेरा तन बदन मैं प्यासी हूँ मुझे भर ले अपनी बाहों में है मेरी कसम तुझको सनम दूर कहीं ना जा ये दूरी कहती है पास मेरे आ जा रे.
Wonderful. And your parting notes before we thank everyone and take leave for this edition of Just Seriously, which is every Thursday, 9:30 IST, 8 p.m. UAE time. We will voice thoughts from different parts of the world. Harsha, your parting notes.
Thank you so much. It was lovely. It was a lovely, lovely time. Although I was really nervous because it's my first time being a part of an audio event. I'm someone who expresses a lot through my face, so I didn't know how to convey it through words so much. But it was an engaging session. It was lovely. I got a lot of takeaway messages today, and you are such an amazing host. I know a lot of people have told you that before, but you are such an amazing host. I felt at home. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and for all the questions and love.
Thank you very much, Harsha. Thank you very much. And thank you, everyone who has joined today. Thank you, Meghavan, who's just joined now. But sad that we don't have much time left. So, just seriously, voicing thoughts with me, Kriss Venugopal, Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. IST and 8 p.m. UA time. So, until I come back with the next edition of Just Seriously, it's goodbye from this side. And thank you very much for joining. Good night, everyone. And good day to those who are on the other side of the world. Thank you very much.